help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacey Lynn. Iran launched more strikes on Israel overnight. The BBC's Hugo Bechega is just outside Tel Aviv.
The authorities say that at least 6 people have been killed here, including a boy aged 10 and a girl aged 8. There is a search effort underway right now for 7 people who are still missing.
Israel carried out a number of strikes against Iranian nuclear infrastructure sites as well. President Trump posting on Truth Social, "We can easily get a deal done between Iran and Israel and end this bloody conflict." But talks between Washington and Tehran that were supposed to resume today have been canceled. A manhunt in Minnesota for the suspect who shot 2 state lawmakers and their spouses. Drew Evans is with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
If you do locate him or see him, call 911. Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous, and you should call 911 immediately with the information.
Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were killed. State lawmaker John Hoffman and his wife were wounded. A military parade was held last night in the nation's capital, celebrating the Army's 250th birthday.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too.
Thousands of soldiers, tanks, and other military vehicles were part of the celebration. This woman took it all in.
I saw the power of the American military, which is being rebuilt by President Trump, who I support 100%.
The event coincided with President Trump's 79th birthday.
Happy birthday, but he's not a king, and he's acting like one.
She was not at the parade in D.C., but at one of the thousands of No Kings rallies that took place in hundreds of cities across the country, protesting the president's agenda. Well, there's a heat advisory for the first time today in Alaska.
National Weather Service meteorologist Jason Laney says in order to determine when would be a proper time to issue an advisory, they talked to emergency managers, fire, and EMS.
The answer was overwhelming. Yeah, anytime the temperature starts getting into the 80s, we start seeing calls for this up here.
And the interior areas, including Fairbanks and Anchorage, could see temperatures in the mid-80s, which is 15 to 20 degrees above normal. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Well, we spend way less on Father's Day than we do on Mother's Day. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans will shell out about $24 billion for pups today. While that is a lot of dad dough, we spent over $34 billion last month on our moms. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy. Oh, sure. Oh,
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed.
From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Today is Father's Day, and I got a chance to talk to some kids about what that really means.
I love my daddy. I love my daddy. Yes, I do.
Describe what Father's Day is.
It's kind of his birthday, not really, but he gets presents and all that stuff.
What does your dad look like?
Some people say we look alike, but he's bald with no hair.
Does your dad do anything really weird?
Every night he snores.
What do you love about your dad?
He's easy to like and it's easy to be his friend.
Do you have anything special you want to say to your dad on this Father's Day?
I have a song from my dad. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I love you.
Stacy Lynn.
Happy Father's Day.
CBS News.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For Father's Day, it is going to be partly sunny. We'll have a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around. It'll be humid with a high of 77. Partly cloudy tonight, low down to 64. Mostly cloudy tomorrow. Another thunderstorm in the area, high up to 77. Still some showers and a thunderstorm on Tuesday. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Ridney, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
Visit Pittsburgh is celebrating its 90th anniversary this week. 9 decades of successfully marketing and promoting the city as a sports and vacation destination and convention venue. A number of good things are taking place in the city, and Visit Pittsburgh is at the center of them. For example, the just-released Insider's Guide to Pittsburgh, designed to encourage visitors to make the most of their time here. It includes special sections on this week's U.S. Open and the upcoming NFL Draft. More than 120,000 copies are being distributed. And speaking of the draft, Visit Pittsburgh is playing a pivotal role in preparations to host what is expected to be the biggest event in the city's history. 500 to 700,000 visitors are projected to visit downtown, and the city will be in the national spotlight. Based on past performance, Visit Pittsburgh will surely contribute to a major success hosting the draft. We congratulate Visit Pittsburgh on its 90th anniversary.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, just like that, your prep pack back at it before the sun comes up. It is a Sunday morning, and it is June 15th, 2025. The world is watching closely what is going on between Israel and Iran. Iran, in my opinion, must be looked at differently now, and action has to be taken. And I totally stand for Israel and what Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is trying to do for the free world. And the president is echoing those sentiments. But I am a little disturbed today, and I'll tell you why. So thousands protested yesterday what they were calling No Kings protest, protesting against the commander-in-chief. Well, he was celebrating his 79th birthday and also celebrating the Army's 250th birthday, in which thousands were there in the nation's capital. The crowds weren't as big as many thought they would be. I didn't think they would be, and I'll tell you why. has nothing to do with the president, has nothing to do with the protest. But I just don't think this country understands, and especially on all days, Flag Day yesterday, what true patriotism is all about. And why more now than ever, we need to be thinking about God and country. And not just the 250th birthday of the Army, but we need to be thinking about the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and why the men and women of those branches of the service may be called upon sooner than later to protect us. So why are we not willing to stand up? Has it been too many years? Have we turned too many chapters? Have too many generations come and gone since what we really understand when it comes to sacrifices and what they're all about? I'm just very saddened today because I'm thinking that this country and the people who call the United States of America their home are worrying about other things other than what they should be worried about. There are very evil elements around the world who would like nothing more than to see not just the brick and mortar, but the fabric, the moral compass. They would like to see America destroyed. And if I'm abroad looking up close and personal at this country, I'm wondering what this country is all about. Is this a country that truly does believe in laws? And is this a country that truly believes in its rich history and about the sacrifices that were made? I think yesterday, the parade that the president held, he was trying to jumpstart the American spirit. And I think it's going to take much more than that. And I hope that we're not forced to defend this country and we have to learn once again what sacrifice is about. But if you've been reading the same headlines and listening to the same stories and following all of the news, you know right now the world is in a very tough place. I just hope we're ready, if need be, to defend this great country. So, it's coming down to the fourth and final round of the U.S. Open. Sam Burns, 4 under, and J.J. Spawn and Adam Scott, second place, 3 under, and Victor Hovland at 1 under. No, not some of the biggest names in the world of golf, but you have to understand this is the course that you got to grab every opportunity that you get and make the most of it. And some teed off a little bit earlier to start this incredible U.S. Open, and they had a chance to beat the weather. And the conditions were calm. It wasn't as warm. And when the rain came, as Bob Ford has said, when it rains, 5 under will win it. And when it's rain-free, it'll be 5 over. But the thing that I am really embracing are the names and the history of Oakmont. Going back to when I first started to realize the significance of it, when Johnny Miller shot that 63 on that final day. And names like Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer and so many others. But it's Arnold that I'm thinking about today, as I always think about whenever anything is happening in the world of golf here in Western Pennsylvania. Arnie was beloved not just at Oakmont, but at every course in this country. Arnold Palmer is the reason why golf is where it's at today. It's a reason why the coverage that you get 24/7 is happening on a cable outlet near you, the Golf Channel. And I have watched the Golf Channel for a very long time. As I was late last night, I will be doing the same thing on and off, not just today, but throughout the week. I just have to get that daily dose of the great game. And we have been given so much of the great game this past couple of days that it just makes me overwhelmed with joy. That even though it's been a few years since the king has passed away, as I expected when we lost him, that he would live on forever because of the great game of golf and generations that are coming up. And I know many of you are saying, boy, I was hoping it would have been Scotty Scheffler or Rory McIlroy or some name we could have hung on to. And even the great Phil Mickelson's not playing now, did not make the cut. All hoping for one of those marquee matchups, right? Well, I look at it this way. The only thing in this world is constant is change. And it's nice to see some of these so-called no-names getting an opportunity to play in the spotlight. And today you're going to have a chance to see some young men who have dared to dream just like Arnold did growing up in Latrobe, having an opportunity to play for one of the most prestigious tournaments in all of golf. It's our tournament. It's the U.S. Open at the toughest course on the planet. So today will be as thrilling as anything, even when Arnold and Jack and others were teeing off for their fourth and final round. Why? because it's golf. And if I know anything, that's what Arnold would want, for us just to love the game for what it is and embrace those who have the opportunity to seal the deal as the fourth and final round is just hours away. It's been a real joy. It really, really has to follow this tournament and to watch all of the coverage. And we're going to be at Oakmont Bakery later today with the Coons Market Black and Gold Sunday Show. We've got Alex Childs joining us. He's the pro at Fox Chapel. Steve Hopley, who is the pro at Swickley Heights, will be joining us as well. Our sports director, Jeff Hathorne, will have some reports as well from Oakmont, 2 each hour. So get ready to embrace the fourth and final round. But again, congratulations to Devin Gee and everyone. And Mr. Ford still hanging out there and helping every step of the way. The members and, yes, the grounds crew, that superintendent and all of the volunteers, because you have made it a U.S. Open to remember. And wherever you are in this world, wherever they're even talking golf, at whatever level, there's not a single person who loves golf that doesn't know the history of Arnold Palmer and Oakmont. We're pretty special, and it's nice to be here in Western Pennsylvania before the sun comes up, getting ready for the fourth and final round of the U.S. Open at the historic, the legendary Oakmont Country Club. Pretty cool to be a part of another chapter in that rich history. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll come back after we check some sports. We've got some other news to get to, an incredible, just sad story developing in which some politicians were shot and killed. That's coming up in just a couple of moments. Stay with us.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
The KDKA Radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market team as they discuss their favorite crock-pot recipes. What's yours? It's the Coons Cooking Hour presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations of Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks lost to the Cubs yesterday 2-1. Two teams again today. PNC Park first pitch 220, 93.7 The Fan. Well, the range came and slowed things down a bit at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and in the end, your leader through 3 rounds is Sam Burns, who is at 4 under. J.J. Spawn and Adam Scott are at 3 under, and Victor Hovland is at 1 under. NBA Game 5 tomorrow night, Pacers OKC. Games are tied at 2 games apiece. NHL last night, Florida beats Edmonton 5-2. The Panthers can wrap it up with a win Tuesday night. More sports at 937thefan.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
Did you know that now you can listen to all your favorite stations, including this one, shows, and even podcasts, all on the Odyssey app? Download it now.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, this is a story that I wanted to spend a little bit of time on. And look, don't look at this as a politically motivated anything other than what it is. It's flat out tragic. I alluded to it going into the break, but I wanted to spend a full segment kind of dissecting and talking about it. And just, it's another reason why we have to find a way to make this country realize what's at stake. Politician killed, 1 wounded. A spouse has passed away as well. So it's Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband were killed And State Senator John Hoffman and his wife were wounded in a politically motivated shooting overnight. Hortman, 55, her husband, Mark, 58, were shot in their Brooklyn Park home, while Hoffman and his wife, Yvette, were shot about 5 miles away in their home. Investigators say they believe the suspect was dressed in a manner to appear like a police officer, and they have identified the suspect, but just tragic, tragic, tragic. I mean, we have gotten, this type of stuff is just happening all too often, and it's gut-wrenching. It's just sad. It's depressing. It's so much so that when I think of where we are in America right now, I'm not so sure if America will ever be able to heal. And, right away, we're going to hear from people, blaming it on, a political party or for some sort of affiliation or connection because of who was involved in this shooting. We don't know. No one knows. And no matter how it turns out or whatever it turns out to be, whatever the motive was, it's tragic. And we've seen violence like this just continue to percolate across this great country for year after year, decade after decade. So much so, wasn't even the lead story today on CBS Radio News because of what's happening with another gigantic violent story in the Middle East. No matter where you look at every corner of the globe, there's some sort of violence going on. But when I see stories like this, it just makes me shake my head and shrug my shoulders and say, dear God, when are we ever going to just realize that we are all in this together, no matter what our thought process, no matter who we represent politically, no matter our race, religion, it doesn't matter. We are all in this together. And that's what I was alluding to earlier, how sad it was yesterday. You had all of these protests against the president. You had a patriotic day that it was supposed to be all about celebrating the Army's 250th birthday on Flag Day, which also happened to coincide with the president's birthday. And very few numbers showed up in Washington. And, just driving home yesterday, looking around, no evidence of Flag Day because certain places have flags up all year round. But there were always, little notions or comments about Flag Day, or somebody would post something or do something. I didn't even see any posts on social media. And nobody lives in that world more than I do because it's my life. Physically, emotionally, mentally drained I am because of what's happening in America. And then that story yesterday about the shootings just is so sad. It just breaks my heart that this is what I have to deal with on a regular basis. And it has nothing to do with anything other than the state of this country. This country is in such a bad place right now, and it has nothing to do with who's in the White House, has nothing to do with a particular Republican or Democratic member or party. And even though people are going to try to spin that, and I get it, it's just about violence in America. It's about the unstable environment that we live in. I mean, you've got riots in Los Angeles. You have a sheriff in Florida saying, if you do this, we will shoot you and you will be graveyard dead. Doing everything humanly possible to stop the violence. And when all this is going on, then you have these poor, innocent, sad, these victims who were shot. 2 people losing their lives. And everybody just simply goes, well, I guess it's just another day in the United States. Do you understand how we are being perceived right now around the world? I mean, think about it. This day of, supposed to be red, white, and blue, the Army's 250th birthday. There's not one of us listening right now. I don't care where you're at or how you're listening or watching. Our YouTube channel, Metropolitan Window video screen, I don't care. That has not been affected by the Army. The Army has given us the freedoms that we have. I mean, think about where we would be if it wasn't for the men and women of the military. The hurdles that we've overcome as a nation, as a country, where we would be without these people. And if you wanted to do a No Kings protest, you could have done it Friday. You could do it Monday. You could have just sat at home and said nothing. But they started to gather in Pittsburgh early, and I'm thinking, where does someone have that kind of time that they can start planning something like this and take, in many cases, a rare day off and go out and protest? How can you do that? How can you do that? It just breaks my heart. It just absolutely breaks my heart. I mean, isn't there more important things like family and obligation and errands and duty and worship services? I mean, I don't understand where America is right now. I need somebody to help me. I need somebody to tell me, Rob, it's going to be okay. I need somebody to just explain to me it's going to be okay. You know, when my mother was here on this planet, even though at times I knew down deep it wouldn't be, she'd always say it's going to be okay. And I knew it wouldn't be, but I did it anyway, meaning I believed in her because it just gave me some sort of calming effect that I actually knew that maybe things would be better. But it just seems like it goes from bad to worse in America. It just goes from bad to worse. And, you know, for all of you naysayers that don't like President Trump, and I get that, he will be gone from that White House someday, and then you'll be on to someone else, maybe either a yay or a nay. But let's not lose sight of people who have lost their life in this violent act. Try to leave the political process out of it, even though I know you want to lean into it, and mourn the loss of these individuals and others who were wounded. And I must tell you, if you're a member of the political party, whether you be a Democrat or Republican right now, look, you've had Nancy Pelosi's husband attacked with a hammer. I mean, this is ridiculous, and it has nothing to do with anybody who is in an office of political prominence. It's the individual, it's the act in which they take it upon themselves to commit these heinous, ugly, horrific crimes because of being a weak-minded, self-serving, egotistical maniac who feels as though they don't like the way things are going, so they're going to take it in their own hands and do something a little bit different, right? Cowardly acts, all of them. I mean, we have gotten to a point in this country where there is no respect for the law. There's no even fear of heaven and hell anymore. I mean, because if you had any faith in anything, meaning a higher power, before even committing a heinous act, you'd be thinking, well, isn't this murder? Isn't it a commandment that thou shalt not kill? People are not even fearing eternal damnation in hell fire. They still are committing crimes like this. So thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved with this. But these stories are becoming so commonplace now that I don't know what, if anything, can be done to change the course of history. You know, much later today, I hope to see some of my children, just to spend a little time with them. And by the time I get there, if I do, if not, it'll be this week, I'll be so tired that they'll be doing all the talking. And I'll just be sitting there and listening and looking. And I can tell you one of the things that'll be going through my subconscious is this horrific act, where we are in the country. And being that I had my children a little older in life, you know, I'm not going to be around for some of the best times of their life. I just hope somehow, some way, that what I'm hoping for in my heart can actually materialize and they can all live happily ever after. I did the best I could do. I cannot do any more. I've tried to educate them. I've obviously done everything to provide for them. I have fought through the tears. I have fought through the tyranny. And now they're on the launching pad to the rest of their life. But I must tell you, it makes it more and more difficult when I have to come in here and talk about protest against the president, thousands upon thousands of people, okay? A military parade in the nation's capital to celebrate the United States Army, which my children would not be living in the free world that they are if it wasn't for the service of the men and women of the armed forces and obviously the Army. And I have people who are simply wanting to make a difference in this country being shot and killed. or wounded, and spouses wounded or killed for some unknown reason, but people will turn it into political fodder and they will not think about the big picture. And the big picture is 2 people are dead, 2 people are wounded. That's what you should be thinking about. That's what good neighbors, that's what the United States of America does. We don't point fingers, or we don't believe it on a political ideology. All right, a lot of you want to talk to me, but I had to get that off my chest. I wanted to spend a lot of time talking about it because it's a sad story. And we'll take your calls on the other side of the CBS Radio News report, which is just moments away. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
While you sleep, there are people you've never met who are working hard to make your morning. People who get up at ungodly hours to make sure you get the information you want while you sleep. People who dedicate their lives to make yours better while you sleep. These people come together during the Big K Morning Show with Larry Richert, 5:30 to 10 in the morning, to make sure you have the best news, traffic, and weather to start your day. Wake up to your friends, weekday mornings on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. Israel unleashed airstrikes across Iran for a 3rd day, and Iran responded with more missiles launched on Israel just outside Tel Aviv. The BBC's Hugo Bachega is there.
The authorities say that at least 6 people have been killed here, including a boy aged 10 and a girl aged 8.
Planned talks on Iran's nuclear program today, which could have provided an off-ramp, were called off. A manhunt's underway for the suspect in the shootings of Minnesota lawmakers and their spouses. Drew Evans is with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension.
Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous. Call 911 immediately with the information.
While a parade took place in Washington last night to celebrate the Army's 250th anniversary and President Trump's 79th birthday, in hundreds of cities across the country, no King's protests were held.
Happy birthday, but he's not a king, and he's acting like one.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Get connected. That's the Inside Connection this Saturday morning at 9 with your local Medicare experts from MediConnect. If you're turning 65, hear all the inside information available to seniors on the Inside Connection, presented by MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
For Father's Day, it'll be partly sunny. We'll have a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around. It's going to be humid with a high up to 77. Then tonight, partly cloudy, low 64. Mostly cloudy tomorrow with a thunderstorm in parts of the area and a high up to 77. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist Matt Riddy, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
You know, I don't know. Acting like a king. What, sticking up for the country? I mean, actually speaking out about those trying to do us harm, trying to get better deals to make the average person have more money in their paycheck. I mean, building for the future. I mean, 79 years of age yesterday, worth billions, could basically call it a day and play golf every day the rest of his life, anywhere in the world. But he's out fighting every day. And look, I don't agree with the guy every day. And some of the things that he does are really kind of bonehead. But he does a lot of good, too. And the last time I checked, he was elected. I mean, there was a chance that Kamala Harris, she had an opportunity. They didn't want it. American people didn't want it. I don't think we know what we want in America. I think the only way that we decide anything politically, it's through anger. We don't look at issues anymore. We don't vote for a person because of what they represent or who they are. We vote out of anger. And I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of all of the naysayers. I'm tired of the negative attitude. I'm just tired of the violence. It's just, this isn't the country that I grew up in. And the more I think about it, it hasn't been that way in a long time. And the sad thing, when you hear about like these shootings and people just with these No Kings protests and talking about this guy as though, he was a second-class citizen and all the things that go with it, I don't know if this country is ever going to be able to get back on track. I really don't. And to me, that's what's so sad when you think about everything that could be accomplished and all of the good that is going on. Like I saw another story today from CNBC about the Nippon-U.S. Steel deal, and I went, nah, not even going to use it. Not even going to use it. It's a good story, but you know what? Nobody wants good stories. They just want to jump on this story, sad stories, and turn it into a politically motivated story that it happened because of the good, the bad, the ugly of one or the other parties. All right, Trey Fulbright is here. First alert, I was waiting for him. First alert forecast, KDKA television. So we're going to have a rainy Father's Day, or is it going to get a little bit better? And how much more rain can we expect? Because it has been a rainy last month for sure. Good morning, Trey.
Good morning, Rob. Yes, some spots will have another pretty wet day again. This is going to be one of those situations where we see these scattered thunderstorms that pop up during the afternoon. These are really hard to predict exactly where they pop up, but right now we're thinking the most favorable location will be from Pittsburgh, generally south and west toward the Morgantown area.
I know what a lot of people are hoping for is dry conditions when it comes to Oakmont. Now, I know First Alert's pretty good, but I don't know if you can pinpoint Oakmont, but will they at least be able to finish the day even if they have to dance through some raindrops?
There's a chance there could be some scattered thunderstorms around the Oakmont area. Like we said, it's going to be one of those kind of deals where when we don't really have like a front or something coming through, these just kind of bubble up wherever you have a lot of heat and moisture. So once again, folks out at Oakmont will need to be prepared just in case there's a storm. But at least this morning, things will be fine. If we see anything, it would be between 12 and 9 p.m.
All right, roll out that 5-day forecast, then we'll let you go to work and say thank you. Go ahead, Trey.
All right, sure. So today we've got scattered thunderstorms expected this afternoon, most of them from Pittsburgh south and west. There is a flood threat with any storms that do form, so do be on the lookout. Don't drive through any flooded roadways. Tomorrow, more isolated in nature, so lower coverage, a high of 82. Tuesday, the rain chances go back up. There could be some localized flooding on Tuesday as well. Wednesday, lower coverage, a high of 86, and then we get a stronger cold front in here Thursday that could once again bring in more storms.
All right, good stuff. Hey, have a great week. Enjoy your day today, okay?
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
All right, listen, I got every line on hold. I'm going to go top to bottom here, and I'm just going to let you folks talk. All right, let's go to Ken, Lower Borough. Ken, good morning. You're on the air with your Pratt Pack. How are you?
Rob, happy Father's Day. I figure I'd give you a little bit of hope before I really go into this. Basically, I'll tell you my story. Yesterday, gave the wife a hug and an extra kiss, put a pistol in my belt because of the demonstrations. Didn't know if there was going to be riots. Thank God I haven't run into anything up this way. It was quiet. But you know what? I didn't know any of this was going on until I got home around 3:30. I'm not in touch with the news until I get home. And you know what? I'm watching the news, and I'm thinking, well, okay, this might be a Republican. But within 5 minutes, they didn't say a word. No megas, nothing. So the news media covered this guy up. They can say it's politically motivated or not. It is. I mean, the Democratic Party at this point has split. You have your far-left communist Democrats, and you have your Democrats. I try to explain this. These people are violent. I don't remember the last incident that Mega did something like this. These people were told to stand down. Do not confront unless confronted. We do nothing. We do not advance at all. I mean, All Kings Day, if he was a king, there would not be a protest out there. It wouldn't have been allowed. So I don't understand. I mean, the party, and then you have a mayor down there shouting in Pittsburgh. How is that not inciting violence? This is the mayor of Pittsburgh. Why would you want to come to a community when you have a mayor inciting violence? There's no protest there. We call him the shouting mayor because I don't think he talks. But, yeah, you have other people to talk. I'll let you go.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's go to Joanne, Point Breeze. Joanne, good morning and welcome to KDKA.
Good morning. And the first thing I do have to say, I'm saddened at these families because this evil element is not new in this country. But now they're going for political parties. It's not new. If you look at your history, that these supposed to be patriots and Americans who have flags that they bought and paid money from China, they never looked to see and bought the flags that were from United States. So there's always been the terrible, terrible evil element in this country, except it's got worse. When you have this man said, I put my pistol in my, wherever he had it. I mean, this is ridiculous what's happening. I do want to say I'm saddened for these families that had to go through this, but it's not new. And I hope fathers have a happy day because most of them have shelter for their family and they have nourishment for their bodies. And that's a big thing. You're still here, and hopefully with your family you're happy and there are good things with your family. To say and justify and say that this is not political motivated, they specifically said that these are Democrats that this man went after. It used to be people of color that they'd go in their homes and rip them out or kill them. So this evil element has been in this country forever. And you know what? As long as we have people who look at people, whether it's the color of their skin or their political party, they have went down into the dungeon. I mean, this is ridiculous, and I'm not going to justify it. You elected a criminal who went through the legal system. It's not like somebody pointed the finger and just saying this. This man went through the legal system, and he was charged with felonies, with cheating the government, with cheating people that work for him, with bringing in undocumented people. And now he's trying to use the law to do the things that he should have done. We do not have a good example. He may be doing things that people like, and the Democratic person that run, I give her credit for even getting out there and trying to run. But this evil element that's in the White House, he never once, I don't care if it's his birthday or not, at least President Biden called and said something to try to motivate people. But this man still, it's all about himself, never called to say anything about these families or anything else. If he's the leader of this country, it's not all about him. So, you fathers, enjoy this day, but this evil element has been there, and I will not justify this criminal, this insurrectionist, that people voted for him. And what do you expect when we have the example of him getting away with everything and then still trying to fight it with his money and the lawyers? I don't know, Rob. All I can say is people just be careful. Your neighbors, you don't know who it is because there's so many people that think because of their party affiliation to think that this man is okay.
All right, Joanne, I got to get to a break. I appreciate your call. I got Cynthia and Ted on the other side. Short break. Your Pratt Pack Sunday morning on KDKA.
Honored to win the Marconi Award as the best news talk station in the country. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations of Pittsburgh tradition. Bucks lost to the Cubs yesterday 2-1. Two teams again today. PNC Park first pitch 220, 93.7 The Fan. Well, the range came and slowed things down a bit at the U.S. Open at Oakmont, and in the end, your leader through 3 rounds is Sam Burns, who is at 4 under. J.J. Spawn and Adam Scott are at 3 under, and Victor Hovland is at 1 under. NBA Game 5 tomorrow night, Pacers OKC. Games are tied at 2 games apiece. NHL last night, Florida beats Edmonton 5-2. The Panthers can wrap it up with a win Tuesday night. More sports at 937thefan.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, even when I asked if you could just kind of not go politically and just look at the sadness of the story of these shootings, people just can't take their foot off the gas. They can't. That's what's wrong with our country. There's just no common ground. All right, Ted, Mount Washington. Hey, Ted, good morning.
Rob?
Hey, man. Happy Father's Day. Welcome to the Sunday edition. How are you today?
Yeah, man. Happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers out there.
Thanks,
who
man.
make a difference every single day.
Thank you.
Thank God for fathers. And real quick, look, Rob, to me, I'll say this. That thug out there who did that cowardly act will be brought to justice. So I have faith in law enforcement, and God bless them, because someone got to go and get these criminals. As far as our politics, look, I would say 1968 was pretty bad, bro. Doesn't compare to what's going on right now. With 1968, Watergate, 9/11, country went through a lot. And our democracy will endure. And I always tell you with true patriotism, to me, even being in the military, look, you can love your country, but still dislike the government's in charge. That is one of our rights. So even when you protest, that is a patriotic act. I may not like it or whatever, but thank God we got it. You have the right. And also, let's break this down, Rob. The reason why this country is like this, because our elected officials, Democrat, Republican, are not doing their job. They're getting away with murder. And the reason why I say this, and I keep on telling you, we haven't had a budget in 20 years. We haven't had comprehensive immigration reform in 40 years since Reagan, and the minimum wage has not even moved in 16 years. That goes directly to the parties in charge, Democrats and Republicans. They're using people as pawns. All they care about is being reelected. And it's sickening, absolutely sickening. And these guys do inside trading, okay? They have a right that we don't have. They get rich. To me, that's the frustration I have. These guys want your vote. Once they get in office, what they do, sit on their hands and blame each other. That is not the United States that I know. And like I said before, it's just absolutely disgusting. And I really wish people would think about that. Because the only one benefit is the guy that wants to get elected or the woman that wants to get elected. They don't care. I wish I was wrong. But that's the way I feel. That's why I voted undecided for Biden and Trump. Those parties are hideous, absolutely hideous. And as American people and taxpayers, we deserve better.
Yeah, we do. We do. I appreciate it, Ted. Let's go to Cynthia in Florida. Hey, Cynthia.
Hey, happy Father's Day to you and everybody else out there. I agree with what Ted said and a lot with what Joanne said. But this country has always been like this. We just didn't realize it because we were doing things to people abroad. Now this nuttiness is boomerang back on us. And I want to talk about this shooter in Minnesota. He ran a private security / mercenary company called Red Line. He was over in the Democratic Republic of Congo. He was over in Gaza. He's a nut, military-trained nut. And a self-professed minister, too. He was in Africa preaching about the devil. He turns out he's a devil. But I didn't watch. And I heard that guy that called, he said he took his gun out yesterday. I don't know where he went. This is why I didn't go to any of these protests. I went, hung out with some friends. We didn't even have the news on. But I was telling them, you don't know who to trust anymore. You got some of these people out in the street catching migrants wearing masks. Are they vigilantes? Who hired them? And if somebody would stop me in my car, I wouldn't open the door and I wouldn't roll down the window. I would call 911 and send some police there to verify that who is stopping me is a policeman. Same in my house. I wouldn't open the door. If I saw somebody coming here, I'd call 911. You deal with this. Is this person legitimate who's coming to my house? And this is the country we're in. These people can buy all of this equipment, outfit their cars with these lights. This is lunacy. But boomerang, everything we've done abroad has come back on us.
Well, here's the other thing. Why would you put yourself in harm's way, especially if you're a parent or a grandparent and people are counting on you? Why would you go out and do something that could end up on the wrong side of things and you could find yourself dead? Why would you risk that when people are counting on you? I mean, if you have a statement or you believe certain things, then you quietly educate respectfully the children that are in that household that you're responsible for. I would never go out and be involved in a protest where I could end up killed, especially when I had my young children. I mean, come on now.
It said it's our right to protest, and people have gotten to the point that, like he said,
but they're not protest the way they should be protesting. Come on now.
Well, our politicians don't listen to us, just like Ted said. And you know what I would like to see? I would like, and they work 166 days a year. They get these per diems. You know, there's more money for the war, nothing for the poor. You know what? Set them all up in their communities, where their states where they live. Set them up with Zoom meetings. And that's how they conduct business. No more going to the Capitol and wasting our money for things they're not doing for us. Let them work out of their communities. We'll save a whole hell of a lot of money that way. I'm sick of them. Truly. So thanks, man.
All right. Hey, have a great day. I appreciate you, Cynthia. Look, I'm just going to summarize and say this. If we don't find a way to stop this, somebody is going to take over this country without firing a single bullet. And everything, the sacrifices that we have made in this country and the people who came here before us, it's going to be for naught. I mean, think about where we are today in our country. On Flag Day, which happened to coincide with the birthday of the president, whether you like him or not, he's still the president, and more people liked him than not, or he wouldn't have got back into office, especially after everything that he went through in between times in the White House. Paying tribute to the Army on their 250th birthday, and all the members of the Army who are in graves throughout this great country and places like Normandy, who lay down their life so we could have the right to protest. Los Angeles, we couldn't even protest peacefully. And when you can't get people to even turn out to vote, but they'll turn out by the thousands to protest the commander-in-chief on Flag Day, which has been a part of our country long before President Donald J. Trump. We'll talk much more about this. I'm in this week, obviously, as always, back on that regular shift, which is the evening show beginning at 6. We need to rethink. We need to reset the bar. Look, you wonder why education is upside down. You wonder why people are questioning healthcare. You wonder why people are questioning government. You wonder why. It's because of the headlines. Look no further than your local paper. Listen to this great radio station. I mean, every newscast, a shooting, a death, something going wrong, the economy. We're talking about Israel and Iran on the verge of, a cataclysmic situation that could infect us all. Because we're trying to stop Iran from developing a nuclear bomb, which could eliminate us all. And people just, I'm going to go protest this guy because I don't like the way he combs his hair. I mean, who cares? Donald Trump, he's just a guy who's, he's a sounding board. And he'll be gone. There'll be somebody else. I mean, if you really don't like it, then you get involved with issues and elections and trying to make a difference that way. Why would you want to take time on Flag Day when you could be with your loved ones out standing in the street where that thing could go upside down, and they have of late? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little naive, but I still believe in what this country was built on. Due process, obviously the right, the privilege to vote, someone in or out of office, to speak your mind, freedom of speech, all the things that come with it. But we have people who would rather take it upon themselves and commit horrendous, violent acts or say horrible, demeaning things. Until we realize we're all members of the human race, we're never going to accomplish anything in this country. My goodness, aren't we supposed to lift each other up, even if we disagree? When somebody needs us, aren't we supposed to lift them up? All right, short break. Rob's here with the news at 6. We're back next hour with the Organic Gardener, then the Coons Cooking Hour on Dad's Day, burgers and steaks and more. Metropolitan Windows in the 9 o'clock hour, Accurate Solutions. Then we're on the road at Oakmont Bakery. How sweet it is. Good morning.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Now we welcome Vince Hall. He's the Chief Government Relations Officer with Feeding America.
Well, this is a very difficult moment, frankly. Congress is at this moment considering sweeping legislation which would cut the SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and that helps 2 million Pennsylvania residents.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with turbo power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxless fees and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
All the news you need for your day and the sports, music, and podcasts you love are all on the free Odyssey app. Download now.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 69 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A 24-year-old woman is facing charges of neglecting a care-dependent person. On Friday, police say Ariane Harper left a home on North Avenue in Verona before her relief worker got there and thus left a care-dependent person home alone. That care-dependent person cannot be left alone for safety reasons. Harper works for the company On-Site Companionship Services, which police say has seen other employees arrested over the past year for the same offense involving the same care-dependent person. A hit-and-run crash in which a woman was seriously injured has a man facing charges. That incident happened Thursday nights in Harmer Township. Police say 59-year-old Richard Yost struck a 28-year-old woman as she was using the crosswalk on Freeport Road. Witnesses say Yost, the driver, did not stop after hitting the woman, and police identified through license plate readers Yost as the driver, who's now facing charges including accidents involving death or injury. The manhunt continues for a man suspected of shooting 2 Minnesota lawmakers on Saturday morning. 2 state lawmakers were targeted at their homes. One was killed along with her husband. Bradley Blackburn has the latest on what authorities believe was a politically motivated attack.
The FBI and Minnesota authorities are searching for 57-year-old Vance Luther Bolter. They say the security camera image was captured just a few hours after he allegedly shot 2 state lawmakers.
Do not approach him. You should consider him armed and dangerous.
Investigators say during the shootings he wore a mask and posed as a police officer.
Authorities are warning about a drug 100 times stronger than fentanyl. Here's CBS News correspondent Michael Wallace.
It's called carfentanil. Just a tiny bit can kill you.
Literally a speck of dust that could fit on the tip of a pencil.
Brian Mulcahy, assistant special agent with the DEA in Columbus, Ohio, says drug dealers are hiding carfentanil in pills that look like oxycodone or Adderall.
These drugs are more deadly than we've ever seen in the history of the drug trade.
Mulcahy wants people to remember 4 words. 1 pill can kill.
No young person should have to lose their life for a mistake.
Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Well, all eyes are on Oakmont Country Club as the final round of the U.S. Open begins today. And KDKA Radio Sports Director Jeff Hathorn is in Oakmont.
Last week, Sam Burns lost a 4-hole playoff at the Canadian Open. Now he goes into the U.S. Open Sunday at Oakmont with a 1-shot lead.
It'd be incredible, I think. As a kid growing up, you dream about winning major championships, and that's why we practice so hard and work so hard. And all these guys in this field, I think, would agree that, to have the opportunity to win a major is special, and I'm definitely really excited.
Burns doesn't have a 3-putt all week, and coming off 2 straight rounds in the 60s, his good friend Scotty Scheffler is 8 shots behind him.